And welcome to Judy's Creations in Crochet. Today is August the 11th, 2022. And although I doubt that she's watching, I want to send out happy birthday wishes to my niece. Happy birthday, Becca. Hope you have a great day. Her two older sisters are taking her out to party because she is now 19, which is the official age here in Ontario. So we have lots of things to show you today, and I want to welcome everybody. And if you are a new subscriber, please leave a comment, or if you're a new viewer, please subscribe. And I really hope everybody will leave a comment and give me a thumbs up and watch the video right to the end. All of those things help me get more recognized in YouTube. So once again, we start with, what am I wearing? And as you know, for the summer, we're concentrating on the jewelry that I used to make. And I'm wearing something a little different this time because up until now, I've been showing you pieces that I made that have lots of sparkle in it. And that's the kind I made most of all. And the sparkle comes from what's called dichroic glass. I'll explain more of that in my show about the jewelry. This time, I am not wearing a piece with dichroic glass in it. This is just plain fusible glass. I'll get a little closer. No sparkle. It's just a very plain sort of muted piece on the bottom. A couple of black chips put on it, and then a piece of clear glass, and that's all put into the kiln and melted. So it's a bit shiny because it's glass, but there is no sparkle in it. Much more subtle piece than the other ones that I've been wearing up to now. So that's what I am wearing today. Now, I'm not going to go to what Hope is wearing. I'm going to do something else first. I think I'll do what Hope is wearing, and some of the items that I have made in the past I'm going to show today because I'm not getting a lot done. So I want to start with the very first thing that I managed to make this week. And I showed you a teaser last week. Now, before I show it to you, I'm going to put a picture in here. In fact, I'll probably put two pictures in here that show you the yarn. From the side, this is the yarn band, and from the top, so you can see the actual gradient. This is a gradient cake from CK Crochet. And it is a cotton acrylic blend. Here is the information and the color, Dirtle Door. A very, very pretty cake of yarn. But before I show it to you, I have to show you something else. This item is one of my Make 9 items. So first of all, I'm going to show you the Make 9 card that I had with all 9 items on it. And then I'm going to do a close-up. Where's my tongue today? I'm going to do a close-up of the one that I chose. And it's called the Moni or Moni. I think it's the Moni shawl, M-O-N-I shawl, right here. So I have one more item on my Make 9 done, and here it is. I gave you a sneak peek last week, and here is the completed item. It is a circular shawl. I may have made one other circular shawl, but never quite like this. It's quite wide as my wingspan. So it's got to be, I'd say at least 6 feet. Maybe it's 60 inches. Oh yeah, that's probably 30 inches. So it's about 60 inches wide, and I'd say at least 30 deep. I have several things to say about this. First of all, working with this yarn is not my favorite thing because it is 4 strands. It is not twisted. But I mean, other than that, it's like any other cake. I have worked with others as well that are 4 strands and not twisted. And they do frustrate me at times because you miss a thread on a stitch, or you get caught in the threads. It is what it is. If you want to use these kind of yarns, you have to put up with the 4 strands. And this company, I want to tell you, they send it to you with a charm on the end and 4 beads on the strands. And everybody says, well, if you put the beads on the strands, it'll keep it together better. I have not seen any indication that it keeps the strands together any better. But this pattern is made up of repeats. You get a more or less solid section. There is a open, but it's just, you know, double crochet, skip one, but the rest is all solid. And then you go into a lacy pattern. And then you go back to your fairly solid and your lacy. It keeps repeating. But what I loved about this pattern is it had a chart. And it had a chart in pieces, but for every individual section, it had a chart for the solid, then a chart for the lacy. Because there was one place where the repeat was not exact. They had a small change you had to be watching. But I used it all. I'm sorry, I forgot to bring down the little ball, and it was no bigger around than this of what was left over. I could not have done even half a row. It's amazing how far around, when you do a circle, how far around it is to complete one row. And I could see the pattern said to do this lace, and the last section up here was going to end with this row right here, which is, it's not bobbles, but they are double crochet 3 together. It uses a fair bit of yarn. And that was going to be the last row. And I had that plus 2 or 3 other rows. I had to do 1, 2, maybe 4 rows. I had 4 rows left to go, or 3 rows left to go. And I could tell I did not have enough yarn left to do all of those rows. So instead, I did a row where I just did some double crochets, and then I went into the V that was there with a triple crochet and a little bit of chain on either side. And then I did a row that was just chains across each section, which I thought sort of finished it off. Nothing fancy, nothing decorative, but I don't need picots and all the rest of it. It was just a way to kind of finish it off with a scalloped look, kind of match the rest, and allowed me to use almost all the yarn except this little wee ball that was left, and it was white. I wish I had more white in this, but my reactions to this is it wasn't a difficult pattern. The repeat was pretty easy. I love the color, and I love the shawl. I'm going to put a picture here because I have a picture of it laying out on the floor so you get the whole look of it. And I have a picture of it on my mannequin. I'll show you the back of it because I can't show you the whole thing here. But I love, love, love this shawl. I love the colors. It was pretty easy to do. And what I like about, I've decided I like circular shawls the best, because circular shawls tend to fall over your shoulders more than the V shawls and just sit there draped. You don't have to hold it. You don't have to get a pin in it. You don't have to tie the points together. When you lay it out, it is rounded, and I'm going to do more of this type of shawl. And I've decided, although I don't know where I'll ever wear it, I'm keeping this one. I really, really like it. So I will link the pattern down below for you. And I will also link this company. They're in the UK, obviously. And for some of you, that means the shipping will be less if you're in Europe. I know I have a number of European followers. And the shipping wasn't terrible, although I ordered this, at least a year ago, maybe more. And they also have a section where you can put together your own. They have lovely colors, but you can put together your own combination if you want. And you can choose 3-ply, 4-ply, 5-ply. You can choose the length. This one was your standard 1,000 meter, but you can do, I think it starts at 500 meters up to 750, 1,000, 1,250, 1,500, 2,000, whatever. Of course, obviously it changes in price, and you can choose to put shimmer in it. So I have one regret that I just thought of this morning. And now, I didn't know I was going to keep this when I started, but I was enjoying working on it so much, although it took me a whole week. So this is my only finished object this week. It took me so long, but I wish now I had realized I wanted to keep it. And I think what I would have done is, I have this Diablo from Hobby, and it is made up of mohair, nylon, and acrylic. See, it's quite thin, but it is fuzzy. It's mohair. And I've done this before. I put a strand of this along with the yarn I'm working with. And I think I might have enjoyed having a strand of this in this shawl, and it would have made it fuzzy, because this is cotton acrylic. I think it would have made it more sort of cuddly. So I kind of wish I had done that, but I am going to do it with some of my other cotton acrylic yarns. Put this with it, because I have quite a bit of it. I ordered on purpose to put in shawls like this. But anyway, one more item off my Make 9, and I absolutely love this one. So let's go to a couple of other finished objects. These are items that come from my stash, so I can't give you as much information about them. So we will start with what Hope is wearing. And she is wearing a shawl or a shawlette. It is not a big one. And it is a very open pattern. I made this so long ago, I really can't tell you the pattern, but I might take a look back through my files and just see. I did not keep good records when I first started. Now I am recording. By the way, I'm recording in Ravelry, and my name in Ravelry, I think you can look in my projects, is Judy's Creations 21, just like my Gmail address. So I might be able to find this pattern in my files of patterns, and if I do, I will link it down below. And again, I don't know what yarn it is. It's just a hank I had here, but I do know it's merino and polyamide, because I always put it on the tag. So a very open shawl that is a great idea for the summer. Now, so there she is. Now I have, part of the reason I went down to see my family in June was because I had purchased a couple of mannequins. So I have another mannequin, and you can tell she's different than Hope because she's taller. Although they do have an adjustment. Oh yeah, I can feel it under there. I'm going to make her a little shorter, I think. We're going to have to come up with a name for Hope's sister. Oh wow, see how, let's see if I can lower her hair because she is way too tall to, there we go. That's better. We'll make her slightly taller than Hope. Although I can see the difference because she's got extra trim here. Anyway, she is wearing an asymmetrical shawl. See this? And this shawl is, there are many out there that they call dragon something. And I don't really know the name of this, but I think I might be able to find it. See the edges, how they have the pointed edges. And it's quite sizable. Put it on again. And this yarn is alpaca silk decay, made with, it's an Expression Fiber Arts yarn. I wasn't watching, so of course I don't know how I put it on her. A very, very, very soft yarn from Expression Fiber Arts. It's 50% baby alpaca and 50% silk. So, oh, feels so nice. I haven't made myself anything in it yet, so I'm thinking that I need to make something. I've got lots of plans. Now, if somebody would give me some more hours in the day, I would get more of them accomplished. And I think that's all I'm going to show you today for finished objects, because I have quite a bit of yarn to show you and a few things to tell you. So that's my finished objects. We're going to have to come up with a name to go with my other mannequin. Third mannequin is in the other room. Okay, yarn. So I have some yarn I got quite a few weeks ago that I've been putting off because I can only show so much every week. And I ordered this for a specific reason. If you remember, I was really into the zebra yarns. So I ordered some from this company. I don't know if there is a card that goes with her. I had a box that it came in, but I don't have it here. Anyway, I know this comes from out west, Alberta, but I ordered two at the same time. One came from Calgary and the other came from Airdrie. So I don't remember which, but I will link this down below. It's called Ginger Snap. Now, what it has to do with the skeletons, that I have not figured out. But Ginger Snap, and as I recall, the shipping was either nominal, like $4, or it was free. One company was one thing and one company was the other. But anyhow, very reasonable shipping, regardless of how much it was. And this is, again, one of my typical yarns to order. When I see this color, I'm drawn to it. I just can't help it. I probably have, you know, a dozen different varieties of this color, but it's great for comparison. This is called Illumination. It's a fingering weight. It's a 75-25 combination of merino and nylon. There are 100 grams and 463 yards, so a little longer than some of the ones I order, which means it's about 420 meters. Usually they're 400 meters and 437 or 8 yards. So this has got a little bit more in it. And the price was, you know, right in line with everybody else. So there we have it. A little bit of black in with the purple and the blues and even some teal. And it feels quite nice. Then I got the two zebra ones. One is my usual color, and the other is completely, I think, a teal. You might call it aqua or turquoise. You know, I don't know which one's which, really. But both of these are the same makeup as the last one. They are 75-25. This is called Wander. This one's called Wander. And this one is called Won't Be Beach. They are the same price as the last one, but they have slightly less yardage. They are your typical 400 meters, 437 yards, and 100 grams. And to me, these feel a wee bit softer than that one. Now, what about the actual thickness of the yarn? I think they're pretty close. This one looks a teeny bit thicker. Okay, so that is from the company called Ginger Snap. They were on Etsy, and I will link them in the description box below. Then I got some yarn just last week, and I wanted to get it put away, so I thought I would show it now rather than I still got some from a few weeks ago. I'm not showing these in any particular order. So this is from a company called Herd of Cats, I'm guessing. Herd of Cats. And they are presenting a line called Road Trip Sock Yarn. So they had a color spectrum of what they call road trip sock yarn. And then each one had its own color. And I think this is Alton Neighborhood Park. I can't read the writing very well. But here's the first one. I wanted to try some speckles. And the information on this, same as before, 75 merino, 25 nylon, 400 meters, which is 437 yards. And this one says machine wash, tumble dry, although it doesn't say superwash merino. But anyhow, I won't ever be throwing any of my hand-dyed yarns in a wash machine or dryer. Never. Never. Now, this is about the same thickness as the last one. Close to the same feel. I think the Ginger Snap is just a slight bit softer. Okay. And I got two exactly the same, different colors. This one is called, this one I can read, Skyland. And it is more blues and greens. Blues and greens, touch bit of purple, whereas this is much darker. Well, not much, but some darker. And it has a little yellow, which doesn't excite me, as you know, but, or lime green, that's not a favorite, but it's got mauves. And I don't know if these two would go together or not in one project. I have a feeling I should use each of them with probably a solid color in this. I have been on the watch, and I have found a number of patterns lately that have 2 colors and 3 colors. I found one I absolutely love. I'll tell you about in a little bit. And then the third skein of yarn I got from this same company, and this is the reason I made the order with this company, because the shipping was expensive if you just ordered one, you know, like $26 to order one skein. That's $35. It makes a very expensive skein. This is, I guess it's also the Road Trip Sock Yarn. And this company, by the way, this company is in Denver, Colorado. And again, I will link them down below, and I found them on Etsy. But this is the one I really wanted. And I'm sorry to say I'm disappointed. I'll tell you why. The color is fine. It's not quite as vibrant as the picture showed. It's a little more pastel. I expect it to be a bit darker. But also, this is 100% mulberry silk. Can you see? Can you see the shine? I can really see it here, but I'm not sure if it's coming across on the camera. It does have a sheen like silk, but I have had mulberry silk before, and it felt much, much more silky than this one does. This one almost feels, it's 100% mulberry silk, but it feels like it's got a cotton in it. In fact, all of these yarns that I get from Expression Fiber Arts, this is pearlescent fingering. These are 50% merino and 50% mulberry silk. And this is silkier, even though it's only 50% silk. This is silkier and feels nicer than this. And in fact, this mulberry silk with the alpaca even feels nicer. Now, I will grant you, alpaca makes a difference. But like I said, I've had mulberry silk before, 100%, and I made a scarf, and it felt silkier. Now, maybe the difference is this is 2-ply and the other one was 1-ply. But I have to tell you, I was a little disappointed with what I got from this particular company. And I'll tell you why. When I opened it, I thought, well, this doesn't feel very nice. I order, I never order, well, rarely, 100% superwash merino, because I like the fact that the nylon gives it a soft factor, a softness to it. And even in plain mulberry with nylon, plain merino with nylon, it feels soft. I'll show you my comparisons. I got another package of yarn in the mail yesterday, and I wasn't planning to show it to you until I realized what I was showing you here today. So I thought, I'm going to show you this just to show the difference. So this is from a company called Cashmere and Coconuts. Hand-dyed yarn. They're in the US. I forget exactly where. Might be the one that's in Minnesota. I did get some from Minnesota. And here is all of her information. As you can see, she's on Etsy. And I will link her below. And we had a bit of a conversation because her shipping, and it's part of an automatic thing through Etsy. Her shipping was horrendous, so I contacted her and I said, is this right? Can you do anything about the shipping? So she made, she checked out the shipping, and she made, I think it was her, because I did two at the same time. She made a special custom order for me where the shipping was already included. She'd worked out the shipping, and then I purchased that special order. But in the future, she has gone and fixed it so that it isn't as bad. But she also did tell me that if ever the shipping, actual shipping, was less than what I paid, she would refund me. So I thought that was very good customer service. So here's what I got. Well, first of all, they come in organza bags, 2 to a bag. I only ordered 3. And the first one was this zebra. Can you see? This is a much darker color, so the zebra isn't as obvious. See, here's the last one, light. But right away, I could feel a difference in her yarn. I will show you the other two. This zebra is actually 100% superwash merino, and it has 400 yards, so a teeny bit less. And it's called Crystal Cave. And then I got 2 more. They are not zebra, and they again came in the bag. And here we go. This one is okay. Now here's the comparison: 70-25 merino nylon, and it has 5% lurex. It has sparkle in it, but the lurex doesn't really change how the yarn feels. It's the merino nylon, and this is called Blue Sapphire, and it has 437 yards. And the minute I took it out, I thought, wow, this feels so much nicer than this. And it's 75-25. This is 70-25. And when you look at it, let me show you. I'll take a lighter. You can see, and it's a twist, the same as the other. You can see a difference. This one is much plumper and softer. Just as soft and as nice as can be. And then this one, don't you love the color? Now, the color looked different in the picture. I thought I was getting basically a black and pink, but there's very little black, and that dark color is more of a burgundy color. But I absolutely, look at the colors, I love it. And it's nice and soft. Same specs on both of these. Nice and plump. I mean, when I look at it, I almost think I have a DK. Not quite, but it is a very heavier fingering weight. And so soft that you do want to put it next to your skin. This one, nothing special. So I love this so much. I wanted more of it. Well, I went back to her site and I was going to get more of it. And then I thought, you know, I have a lot of patterns that are single skein patterns from CJ Brady. And maybe I should order different colors than double of everything. Or I could put this alongside of a plain burgundy, or even alongside a gray. So I'm not sure about, I wasn't going to repeat this one. I have lots of blues, but I was going to repeat this and I haven't decided. I thought, oh, it'll make a shawl with 2 skeins, but maybe I could make a scarf with 1. But I am going to reorder because she had so many other beautiful colors. So I'll be linking her in the description box below. Now, I guess I'm spoiled, because what I did was I brought out some yarn that I get a fair bit of from Ravenswood. And when I get her yarn, and it's not as plump, the thickness isn't as plump as this one I just showed you. It's a little bit thinner. But every time these are both sparkles, so that's a comparison. And they are 75-25, same. That's why I always get that combination. These are, I just want to cuddle in them. They feel so nice. But the one thing I do know is, I mean, a lot of dyers are doing it in their home, in their kitchens, or they have a little workshop or a shed they work in, or a garage. And they order online, probably try to get the best deal they can. And they're not always getting the same quality in the merino when they order it. They're ordering it from wholesalers that sell from a mill. Whereas Ravenswood, they have sheep. I think they got some alpaca now. They got 1 or 2 alpacas this summer. And they know more about the quality of the yarns. And I have read on her pages that, I've read this several places, that merino yarn, the quality has to do with the number of microns, which is a measure of the thickness of the wool. And it goes anywhere from, I believe, 19 microns, which is the very finest and softest, very, very fine yarn, up to, I don't know if I read 24 or 27. I think it goes to 27. And I know, because she puts this in a description quite often, that this is 19.5 microns. So it is almost the finest you can get, and therefore the softest. This does not compare with this at all. Holding it in my hands, I am holding squish. I'm holding stiff compared to this. Now this one, a little thicker, but obviously still a very nice weight of merino. I do like this, but when I compare to my favorite, I have to tell you, my favorite indie dyer out there as a small individual is Ravenswood. Her and her husband run this business themselves. Now, I love Expression Fiber Arts, but it is a big business and on a whole different scale than this. And they have way more selection. So, yes, I still say Ravenswood is my favorite for the quality, but this is lovely. I will order more, and you'll see it in the description box below. So we're getting out of time here, so I quickly want to go to what am I working on? Well, I finished this yesterday, so I had a little bit of time last night to move on again to, I said I'd have it finished this week, but I didn't. This is the cocoon I am working on, and by the way, I'm using a 5.5 millimeter hook, and I will finish this by tomorrow at the latest, tonight and tomorrow, and it'll be done, and I can show it to you as a finished object next week. Maybe the only one, but I will have that finished object next week. And I found, I alluded to this, I found a pattern that was just released last week, and I'm going to start it before the end of the summer for sure. It takes 3 colors, which I really like, but why I want to get at it is it uses mohair. So remember I showed you this mohair a couple of weeks ago, and people really commented on it. They thought it was lovely. Well, I found a scarf pattern that uses a few rows of this mohair. So I'll be able to use the small skein, not the full skein, and put it with a couple of other colors. I haven't 100% decided yet, but when I choose it, I'll let you know, and I'll have it done before the end of the summer. So that is what I am going to work on very soon. Next week, I have a good size order today coming from Expression Fiber Arts. What I did was they had 2 specials going on, but you can't use 2 codes at once from Expression Fiber Arts. So I made one small order and used the code, and I did another small order and used a code. Of course, I have to pay more shipping, but I did contact her. Oh no, they were made at regular shipping prices, so that's okay. But when they went to ship it, when they put it together, they put it all together in one big package and sent it all to me at the same time in one package. So I'm getting a big order from Expression Fiber Arts, and I was told by the post office that it's out for delivery today. So I can hardly wait to get it. I think it has some moon gleam in it, and I don't know that I've talked much about it. So maybe next week I'll be sharing I don't generally share my EFA purchases, but I might be sharing that one with you next week because I'm pretty excited about it. And last but not least, I want to remind you of 2 things. My birthday celebration and podiversary is coming up in September, and I want to do one slideshow of all of the things that you like to work with besides crochet. So I've only had a couple of people submit pictures to me, so it won't be much of a program if I don't get submissions from you. So it doesn't matter what craft you do, please send me a couple of pictures. Maybe you do more than one. For example, I will probably show my stained glass, And I did make a little foray into woodworking, and I have something to show you there, and a few other things. So anything that you do, anything at all that isn't crochet, please send me a picture. And that has to get to me by the end of August. So you still have several weeks. And remember, I am doing the Fall Yarny YouTube Hop, and I need some pictures of fall items for that episode. And I need those by the middle of September. And I am going to start tomorrow probably my fall item. So I won't be showing that until the first day of fall arrives. And again, because it is my special month in September, I am going to be doing giveaways every week. Now, I'm not out promoting that because I want them for my subscribers. And so as a subscriber, you're hearing, and as a regular viewer, you're hearing about all the special things going on in September. I'll talk more about them again next week. And I have firmed up again a few things. So stay tuned next week to hear about the celebrations and to see what I managed to finish this week, which isn't going to be a whole lot. And of course, to see some more yarn. I always find it fun to show you the yarn that I get, fun to receive it, and I hope you enjoy seeing it. So until next week, when I have more to show you, happy hooking.